Is Jenifer Skues on the phone?
She is.
Jenifer, good morning to you. It's great to have you. What do you bring to us today from the world of relationships and mental health?
Okay, well, we've been talking a lot about marital type relationships and what attracts us to each other, the physical attraction. I don't know if people that are listening today listened last week to Shell's program and it was on friendship, and Rochelle contacted me, so we did a whole lot on friendships there, but I thought it would be good to maybe just finish off with the marital relationships. So, because when the best, it seems, we talked about all the chemical reaction to people and all that sort of thing, which is the attraction, but they found that often the best marriages develop because they're best friends first. People rent together, get to know each other, work together, and they sort of like each other but never considered anything more. But over time, they get to know each other, become really good friends, and then they fall in love. And that can build a very, very strong marital relationship. Because marriages, you need to be best friends as well as in love and married. And that's that next progression once you fall in love and there's that whole thing happening. And when that starts to diminish, then we have to have something more in a relationship other than that chemistry of love. So this is where friendship is a powerful way, because think about it. When you have a best friend, what's that relationship like?
Look, you enjoy spending time with them. You are the... if you need to tell something that just happened to you, they are the first person that comes to your mind that you want to share that with them. I don't know. What else, Lawson?
Let me think.
What's your best friend?
Lawson doesn't have best friends,
like about
Jenifer, I think.
What do I like about my
Just me. I'm your best friend, Lawson. Just think about me.
Well, no, of course.
Hard question.
Yeah. No, the things I appreciate about my best friends is that they're willing to journey and do life. I think this is the thing that I really appreciate. You share interests with them and whatnot, but they're willing to like, I have really close friends of mine that are quite different to me. And I'm happy with that because those people are willing to live life and spend time. It's great.
Yeah, this is where I find best friends. Like, I've got friends because I've lived in different places in Australia, and I've got some best friends dotted around the place, and I mightn't speak to one of them for 12 months. But when we get back on that phone and contact each other, it's like we've just been in touch yesterday.
Yes.
You have that closeness, and you can rely on that best friend. If something happens, they'll support you, they'll care for you. It's almost like a second family, your friends. And so this is where we mustn't underestimate. And a lot of people that have mental health issues don't have that closeness in relationships. They might have if they were functioning well, but over time that disintegrates. So they're very lonely. And I find best friends can help fill that gap. Now, if you're married to someone who's your best friend, it makes a huge difference because you trust them, you can confide in them, they're there at any time. And if you haven't seen them all day, you come home and you reconnect very quickly. And that's that thing of that friendship. So I guess the next question is that, and some of the listeners are probably saying, well, how come I've had relationships and they deteriorate, they break down? So it's sort of looking at, well, what can interfere with those relationships? And even with people we might not be best friends with, but we have friendships with, like at work. It's a classic example where I have people come to see me because they've got someone at work who, it's just a nightmare. They're controlling, they can't get on with them, they're bossy, they don't like, the person doesn't like them, and it's hard if it's a supervisor or someone higher up. But then it's like, well, how do you work with that? How do you build that? And I guess we did have a question about one of them was I was looking at on my paper was, how can I make my wife happy? Well, this is where the friendship angle comes in and building that trust and that relationship with that person. But what interferes? Why do relationships break down? What happens?
So that's a great question, because what I'm hearing is that in God's ideal, the marriage relationship is such that your spouse is not only your lover, is not only your partner, but they are also your best friend. And I think this is an incredible thing. But then when we look at this, reality, a lot of relationships, and look, I can say that I believe that I consider my wife to be my best friend. And I know that she considers to be that I'm her best friend too. We say that to each other very often. And we believe that. But I have seen so many friends of mine that are married and for that have that as well, but others they lost it. And if you ask me, okay, so what went wrong? What happened to that? I think that, look, there's so many things we can say, but I think that I would say that one of the things that would have broken down would be kindness, like as in doing something for your friend. Like when you, I think that we are willing to do to our best friends. We are willing to go out of our way to bless them. Yes. But I think that for our spouses, for some reason, what happens is that you feel that either because you're not being corresponded or because they don't deserve it, all of a sudden we stop going above and beyond to bless them, and we just kind of start just demanding more and thinking, oh, unless you bless me, unless you're nice to me, I won't be nice to you. It becomes a very a transactional relationship, I would say.
Yes, and this is certainly even in friendships. I've had best friend I fell out with, and in hindsight, I can see why that happened, and what went wrong, and what my part was and what their part was, because we both have a contributing factor in any relationship. Right? And the Bible tells us the closeness of friendship, whether it be in a marriage or just a friendship, not just a friendship, but a really close friendship, it says that your friend will lay down their life for you. So that's how close friends become. But when you look biblically, we also have an adversary that doesn't like that. They want you to live in very destructive relationships. And I find the first thing, which is sort of didn't say exactly, but criticism is often the first thing that starts. And it's to do with expectations. We expect our friends to be certain ways, and if they're not, instead of going to them and talking to them, and we're going to look at how you actually rebuild that relationship, we start criticising them. Oh, they don't care anymore. I don't like the way they spoke to me the other day. So instead of looking at them from that level of love and respect and kindness, we start to criticise. There are things that might annoy us and we never deal with them. So I don't know if you can relate to that. I'm sure the listeners can. That's and if we don't stop at criticism, then it goes on, and that deterioration gets worse.
Right? I see.
Yeah. So what sort of things do we criticise people for, do you think?
Oh, their views on things, their opinions.
Yes.
Their failures, the way they act sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that criticism always comes kind of disguised as a positive feedback. People think, oh, if I criticize you, then you will get your act up together and you're going to change and you're not going to do this thing anymore. And basically, by naming and shaming is the way to go.
Yes. So it's about control. And if we can't control a person, we do something, instead of doing it with loving kindness and going to that person and talking to them, we tend to overreact or react or become critical. So this is where we're looking at them, but it's about self. I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm upset, I don't like that, or they're not doing what I wanted them to do. Now, a lot of this, of course, goes back to how we learn to develop relationships in childhood. right? And our models, if we have a critical parent or a controlling parent, then we can develop that as we go. And when we first meet people, we put all of that aside. We show the best side of us because we want to get to know them. And once we become familiar with them, whether it be in a marriage or a friendship, that's when I say the rot sets in, basically, because now we're looking at them not with the rose-coloured glasses anymore. We're looking at them with a more critical eye. And that's the first danger sign that the relationship is not doing well, and we need to do it the right way. Instead of criticising, we need to talk to them about it, right? But let's just look at this breakdown process. After criticism, and we often then complain, and we don't always complain to the person, right? We complain to other people. That's one of the danger signs when you go, oh, I'm so sick of so-and-so, look what they did the other day. Or we go and complain, like a woman will complain to the best friend about the marriage. Oh, he doesn't do this anymore, and, we start criticising. And that's not uncommon. You often hear that. And this is where we need to be very careful, right? So we start attacking the character of that person. And then what's called contempt. We start to show disrespect. So then we might be sarcastic. We might do that like shame, guilt, emotional blackmail. And we start to actually, or maybe feel superior. We put them down, whereas we start with putting them probably above us, and this comes back, and we won't do it today, but at some point we'll look at self-worth and self-esteem, as they put it. So this is where we start to have a superior attitude, and we show contempt to that person, even like in non-verbals, tone of voice, how we look at them. And we start to put what I call bricks in the wall with that relationship. And unless you take the brick out and resolve it, you start building a wall between you and that person.
Yes, I can see that. Look, it comes to my mind that proverb, Jenifer, that says that a true friend hide the sins of the other friends, not in the sense of you're ignoring it, but in the sense that you're not gossiping it around or spreading around. So if we feel that we need to get up and about and talk negatively about either a friend or even a spouse to others, I think that this is a symptom that there's something quite serious happening at the marriage relationship that needs to be